This is Riley Donahue, and this is part one of my creative autobiography. So, this is some of my early work. I've always felt inclined to do art. I always enjoyed doing art, but I often felt that I wasn't good enough to pursue it in a serious way. I had a lot of self doubt, and I didn't want any possibility of failure. I put a lot of stock into academic achievement as the only way to succeed. So I ended up attending college, SUNY Geneseo, as a political science major. And what I found was that doing my classwork, I enjoyed my classwork, but every spare moment that I had, I would end up doing art just as a way to bring myself joy, um, and kind of without that pressure of feeling competition or feeling like a failure. And that semester, a family member was diagnosed with cancer, and it really put a lot of things in perspective for me that time really isn't promised. And I was pushed forward to kind of, you know, pursue what brought me happiness in life, regardless of my perceived skills, and kind of pushed out of my self doubt mindset. I worked really hard putting together a portfolio from scratch and essentially using YouTube as my only guidance. So, getting accepted into art school was a huge achievement. It was a confirmation that I needed, to tell me that I was kind of on the right path. And I remember stepping off a plane. I had a voicemail from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago congratulating me on my acceptance. And it was a super happy moment. So, my time at SAIC really emboldened me to break out of my comfort zone and hone my artistic talents. And I was drawn very much toward design and experimental typography. I loved working with other artists, and I felt like I learned a lot from my peers. After graduation, I accepted an internship at a radio station in Chicago, and I found myself really dissatisfied. I liked creating things, but I didn't enjoy an office setting. I really wanted more interaction throughout my day. So, to supplement my income, I began working as a substitute teacher for a local preschool. And working with kids was super amazing. I loved their natural creativity and curiosity, and I ended up bringing a lot of that energy with me back home and started affecting my personal work. So I moved a lot towards abstraction. I began painting and feeling again like kind of the self doubt and perfectionism kind of leaving. I was finally able to really find joy in, you know, the creation. But while I was working both jobs, I found myself at a crossroads. So I knew design was not sustainable for me as a career, and I decided to pursue teaching, which is why I'm attending Adelphi. Um, Recently, however, I was hired as an art teacher at a center for adults with physical and mental disabilities. And this position has been so rewarding creatively and professionally. And seeing the positive impact that art has on my students really fulfills me. One of the most rewarding things that has happened so far is a student who struggles a lot with memory and retaining information remembered a previous art lesson about warm and cool colors and then told me how she had noticed warm colors in one of her friend's paintings and how she, enjoyed the warm colors. So that was very meaningful for me. Um, I really think the most beautiful thing about art is that it is truly for everyone. And I've learned so much about adapting and thinking quickly on my feet in order to meet the needs of my students. So when I stand up and teach a lesson, I definitely feel the last remnants of self doubt kind of melt away, regardless of the circumstances. I just look forward to the future and want to focus my energy on bringing people together and creating a space for experimentation, curiosity, and encouragement. I can't wait to continue my career and, hopefully bring the joy of art into other people's lives. Thank you so much.